We are live.
Now we're live.
We're live. We just weren't on the screen. And ironically, we said we wanted to start with a placeholder anyway, and then come and show you us. First things first. Yeah, Angela has colored her hair.
It's a temporary one, but I'm going back. I'm just experimenting to see if I'm going this shade or a little darker. But yes, as we roll into vaccinations, as I get my first shot, I'm going. It's time to go back to dark. Your hair is looking good. You're back to dark?
I'm back to dark hair, and except for when I went to dinner this weekend, my tribe, my offsprings was like, "Oh, we really love the blonde." They keep trying to get me to go back to blonde. I'm like, look, that was too much maintenance. It's too much color. Of course, me being dryer, but we can definitely talk about hair color. And those who know me know that I've stayed out of the chair as long as I can. Haven't been to the barbershop in the pandemic in a full on year. In fact, my barber is transitioning because she had been located for decades over in the West End Mall here in Atlanta, and there's news about the West End Mall being purchased, set for demolition at some point for this new work life community coming soon. But lots of things for us to catch up. You guys are probably wondering where Angela and I have been, like everybody else. We've been on Clubhouse.
Yes.
But we were also, we've been doing this now. We're probably right at 3 years, and we've done every iteration of it, every platform, every app. And so we are trying to decide, where do we want Leading Women weekly, Leading Women monthly, which we are today, first Wednesday. So we're going to talk about that, and pretty much where live video and video content is going, simply because, we were on before, and we can talk. I know you're trying to figure out, like, we're monitoring conversations here. There's a lot going on.
I've got like a weird shadow right here, and I'm like, do I have something on me, or is it just a shadow? I think it's just a shadow. I'm like, otherwise, look. It's a shadow. It's like, do I have a big ink spot right here? Yeah, I'm like, where am I getting a shadow from? Anyway, go ahead. No, we've not looked. I mean, we've not been on camera for a month.
We haven't been on camera for a while, and we're also monitoring. Say something, Angela, one more time.
I'm here. I'm
like trying to turn. Oh, the volume doesn't adjust on this one. I got to do it here. Let me turn down a little bit here. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we are also on Clubhouse Live. So we got the Clubhouse room going. So we'll be bringing them up on the stage. We also invite those of you that feel like your camera ready, want to come live with us, inbox. We'll drop you the link to jump on live with us. A couple of things going on. And you guys tell us. This is us asking you what you think. Shout out to everybody jumping in on the YouTube. Hey, Stephanie. Stephanie says, hey, I missed y'all. Stephanie, we missed you too.
We missed you too.
We've got some decisions to make for Leading Women, and particularly as far as the schedule. We are the video thing. We've gotten real comfortable being on Clubhouse, and it's an audio drop-in app. It's the most amazing thing. You're going to hear more about it to come soon. But it has definitely caused a lot of people to rethink their content, and because it's where the audience is right now. And that's usually how this thing goes. I know all the other platforms. In fact, since we are simulcasting to several platforms, we won't mention any specifically. Hey there, Tachi. Come on, let me see. And again, Stephanie says she misses us, and Tachi says, hey, ladies. All right, so we got a couple things to ask. We have an ask. One is we're loving life right now in front of an expanded audience. So we are having to decide. Just kind of want to wait it out a little bit and see where the platforms are going. And so, we would normally come on with you guys each Wednesday. It'll go an hour, 2 hours. We just kept going and going. We don't want to do that anymore. We want to come on and hit you guys with a good 45 minutes on first Wednesdays in this type of format. However, each Wednesday, we're still having a conversation, taking it back to a podcast. Many of you know Angela and I started as a podcast. And as a podcast, there weren't as many demands on us to get camera ready, to be in the camera. It takes a full day to do this, guys. And many even just getting mentally ready, production, the research we have to do to come on and talk to you as astutely as we try with our topics. And my dog is trying to munch because he only eats when I'm in the soap room. And so we want to do a good 45-minute first Wednesday production. And we want to be able to take it to a production level. So that means that we're going to bring in some elements and we want to get in and hit and then have a little after conversation on as many of these social media platforms as will allow. And so that's our ask today. Are you with us? Can you show up for us, and how should we show up for you? Which seems to be the topic of the day because I kind of let it through in another form, and here we are. So,
and that really, I guess, is truly the topic is how are we showing up? And I think it's really appropriate here, considering that a year ago, you and I had pivoted out of doing in-person streaming. We were using Dryer Buzz Studios, aka one of Dryer Buzz's children's studio salon, and you know what? It's Eyelash Her. Let's give that. It's still called Eyelash Her. Yes.
And expanded Eyelash Her.
Yes, she's in a new location.
A new location, beautiful, very beautiful look. I'm in awe of this young lady and what she has accomplished with the salon. She is now hiring. Let me say that. So if you have aspirations of entering into the beauty industry, particularly with hair and makeup and personal care services, they are located on the East-West Connector, a wonderful location at that. So yeah, definitely go to eyelashher.com.
And it's letter I.
The letter I, lash, Lash, and then HER, her.com.
Yes.
And they also are having classes as well. So definitely an expansion there. Kicked us out.
Yes. So there's no room for us. So that was our studio. That was Dryer Buzz Studios. Then pre-pandemic, we were like, yeah, some things are going on. Let's just try to stream from home. And then the pandemic hit. So we've been a year, and I think it's appropriate. In fact, more than a year because it's April. But I think it's appropriate that we adjust and we look and see. And this is something that I think that you and I both really strongly about is the importance of pivot, right? This is change management if you're going to talk business, right? This is what you have to do in your life. This is course correction, right? I love this illustration that we think that we always think we're going to be on a straight line path, right? So I'm here and I see where I want to go, right? Or I'm here and I'm going to grow up. What are you laughing at?
You would not believe what I just said. I was trying to move my earpiece, and I literally
did you knock stuff off?
Well, we don't need to be on camera.
See, we've gotten lazy. I've got weird shadows. You're knocking stuff over. I knocked my pen down.
No, I went to take my earpiece out, thinking I was going to just toss it over my shoulder. And it went flying across the room.
I tell you,
it was the wrong earpiece. Okay, go ahead.
The other side is we like audio, but man, we're interesting on video. If you're listening to us on streaming audio right now, you might want to come over and watch the show because there's always a little bit of a show going on.
Right. Shout out to Stephanie. Stephanie says, I'm in wherever you are. Just let me know.
And we love you, and that's it. And this is what happens. You find your community. We were talking about your tribe. You find your collective, and you support one another. Again, you show up. But to your point, it behooves us. It behooves the individual, right, to say where do we want you to show up, and how do we want you to show up, right, or how do we need you to show up? It's setting the expectation, and this is one of the things that really irks me about the vaccine process. I've had my first shot. Yolanda's had her first shot. Was I had to hunt to find out what to expect in the process, right? And I'm just talking about what to expect at the location that I was going to. We both went to mass vaccination centers. Yalanda went to a center where you go in, right? So you went to Mercedes because you went inside, right? At Mercedes-Benz, you went inside.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be a drive up. I was a little bit of anxiety getting out, going in. Yeah,
mine was a drive up, right? So you could be in a drive up. You can be in an interior like a stadium or you could be at a pharmacy. There's so many different things. And I'm like, shouldn't I be able to just like go somewhere to the location and say, what should I expect? Right? What's going to happen when I show up? Where am I supposed to go? Where am I supposed to park? What's going to happen? I couldn't find anything. Like there is no official source. So thankfully, there's a here in Georgia. It's called the Georgia COVID vaccine. What is it called? Georgia COVID vaccine appointment finder, unofficial. Right? They had to put it was on Facebook. Lots of volunteers who will help you figure it out. Right? So I was able to go there and say, I'm at Jim Miller. I'm going to be at Jim Miller Park. And what can I expect there? Right. And so people told me you're going to go in, you're going to go through a bunch of homes, you're going to wait in a line, you'll go through multiple people, and you'll eventually get to a nurse's tent and you'll get your shot. So for me, it took an hour, right? It was an hour from the time I hit the first line of cars all the way through to the tents, right? And so I would have just liked to have known that. Someone told me that it took them almost 3 hours down at the Delta Museum, where there's also a drive-through. So I mean, that's okay if it's going to take 3 hours. Just let me know, right? I have a friend that went to Walgreens. It took 15 minutes, right? So, but each location should be able to tell me what the expectation is. I'm drifting. I'm rambling. But the point is I didn't care that it took an hour. I wouldn't have cared if it took 3 hours. I just needed to know so that I could plan, right? Because in my case, I have to have somebody here with my sisters. I have to make some plans. But even if you don't have any plans, you want to know what to expect. Like you're saying, you're thinking you're driving up and suddenly you got to park and go inside. You're like, wait a minute. I didn't think I was going to have to go inside. How long do I have to wait with 6,000 people getting shots, right? Because I was like, I'm happy to not get out of my car, right? But I'm glad I went to the bathroom, right? I mean, it was like, you better be prepared, because where are you gonna go to the bathroom if you're gonna wait 2.5 hours, right? So just that sort of thing. So let that be a lesson whenever you have that kind of interaction. Is if you're asking people to show up somewhere, how much detail can you give them about what to expect, right? Can you set an expectation? Because people will go. I mean, the people that don't want to show up aren't going to show up, right? And it's all the people. I was in a room yesterday with somebody that in Clubhouse that I follow, just sort of remotely. And, this was like her second room. And there was maybe 10 people there. It was very nice. She was very happy, talking about a book. But she was like, all these people said, ping me, I'll be in your room. And she's like, basically, none of them showed up. You're the group who showed up. Thank you for showing up. And so I thought, yeah, the people that show up will be the people who show up, but give them as much information as you can. So again, I've gone off on a tangent because I'm like, I just feel so often, if I just know what to expect, it's going to make such a big difference. So, and then to kick it back to Yalanda is so good at reminding us, we have to ask the people who are showing up how you'd like to show up, right? Because you're part of this as well. So Tachi, can you read that, or you want me to get it?
Go ahead.
I'm going to have to do this by the bottom of my glasses. Tachi says, this is key. You need to provide all the information someone needs. And that's exactly right. And this is, to me, one of the challenges of being on Clubhouse, is figuring out, where do you put all the information that you typically would have on a Facebook page or even on a YouTube channel? And, I think this is where working with the Clubhouse structure, making sure there's good links so that people know, like if we're going to be on Clubhouse, we need people to be able to integrate with Clubhouse. And in the next month, so by the time we're back, the 1st of May, probably Clubhouse is going to be open to everyone in the sound of my voice and the sight of my face. They'll be opening up to Android. So you may be able to join us there if you're not able to now. So I think that this is really important. So Yalanda, what are we posing to our audience about how we show up?
Well, first of all, I want to know it's great to see that you guys miss us, because we haven't been on, I don't know how long, probably about a month. I don't know how long we've not done the Wednesdays here.
We missed, and there were 5 Wednesdays. So since we did the first,
I'm going to tell you, I wasn't counting. I was only enjoying the time away. First of all, here's what you got to know. I'm a Scorpio. I need my season to hibernate away from people.
Ooh, This is true.
And I'm like trying to hang in there with humans right now. Okay. But no, seriously, I really wasn't counting because there's so much that has happened in that time. Again, with the platforms and wondering what the platforms are going to do. I mean, half of the platforms I didn't even expect them to come into 2021. And I know that we are also right now we're simulcasting to a number of platforms. So one of the things that I had in question was the length of our content, the length of our show, and how well it was
Mhm.
performing. And so we saw some dips and things like that. And then, of course, we got really comfortable on Clubhouse and doing it there and being able to just go and really have a real good organic conversation, finding the spot there. And then too, I became really stretched, really thin because I launched a couple of things. One, all this going on here around
It looks
me.
so good too. It looks
And
so
the summer,
good.
so getting ready for the summer, and I'm so excited because there aren't any more major dates in April, so I just get to really work on the production of soap. You guys know in the pandemic, I did a pivot of becoming a soap maker, so we survived getting through Christmas and New Year's and Valentine's Day, getting ready for Mother's Day, which is going to be awesome and amazing. We're also doing weddings and just in the shower. My clarity moment today, because of all the questions I get asked about soap making. And again, because I am doing it on one particular platform, the audience that's building around it are people who also want to make a major pivot as such, right? Hey, lady, real mom's a whole school homeschooling is on
Makisha.
there. Look, and then Rhonda says, so what she said, so that's why I just want to stay home. And you know what? And there's nothing wrong with wanting to stay home. And Rhonda talked, I was sharing today while we were coming on, and she said, man, y'all gonna make me get an iPad and come on over to Clubhouse. And I think about the number of questions that Rhonda has been asking in this pandemic about how to survive this pandemic. Yeah, girl, go get that iPad
Hmm.
because you will find out how to chill. And I know some of the things that Rhonda has been sharing, like Angela was saying. You know, Rhonda's been asking these questions. We're all out here asking these questions, how to get through this. And but yet there are those who will say, "Hey, here's how you do it." My survival has simply been because I asked. And in fact, I remember my one of my cousins said, you need to ask our big cousin, you know, my cousin Belinda. And I'm like, she said to me, did you ask? I'm like, I mentioned it. She's like, no, I'm going to ask for you because you probably didn't ask the right way. And I just remember her calling me back and say, hey, cousin just told me you got this going on. This said, here's what you do. And I just remember being able to breathe such a sigh of relief. And that's why I come with the sense of urgency. Listen, if you need information, please ask someone about it. So that aside, that's what we're talking about today, and asking you guys how do we need to show up for you, but also saying, well, here's how we need to show up for you. We need to show up on first Wednesdays once a month doing these broadcasts simply because we have got a lot going on. Angela and I both have sore arms because we just had the first vaccination, and we understand that things are opening up out there. But I was saying my clarity moment I had in the shower because I'm now making soap. People come with, I got this skin issue and I got this going on. I'm like, oh Lord Jesus. Okay, let me just say. And I was trying to craft my answer because I get asked all the time.
Hmm.
And I've been trying to search for an answer because I'm that person that said, well, dang, you know, I'm that person like, why are you asking me? And I'm like, I've got to find a better way to answer this question. And the question was, we are a gift shop, right? Our soap is for gift giving purposes. Okay. We're not medicinal. We are not
Hmm.
healing and all of that. Simply because I'm not yet certified in all of that. While I plan to, and while I do have someone that is very knowledgeable, skilled, certified as a master in it, and I have, you know, that one being my daughter, and then also who works with us on this, and she goes like, no, y'all can't do that. You can't, you know, this is what I sell right here. I sell these boxes with some pretty ribbon on it. Okay. Is that upside down? It's upside down. Right. That's what I do. And what we put in here is absolutely awesome and amazing. But I'm not blind to the fact that people are asking for things that will help them. I just can't say it. And you know me, I have to be legit in what
Yeah.
I'm doing. So I needed to craft
Yeah.
a response. Remember, we're out here telling people to ask if they need to know this, ask if they need to know that. You have to have the appropriate response. And somebody, I saw a viral video of a young lady. Oh, hold up. It might have been it might have been my little cousin. She was like, somebody did a video. I don't know if it was her or not. Say normalize saying
I love it.
I think it was her.
Somebody.
No, it was my cousin, a little cousin on TikTok. She was like, okay, I'm out here trying to do the adult. I'm becoming an adult. She said, and I need adults to just do one thing for me. I need y'all to normalize saying you don't know something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because everybody is saying you got to be this, you got to do that, but nobody's really saying, hey, I don't know. And I'm trying to tell you, there's a lot in this industry. This stuff goes far and wide. And there's a lot of it I don't know. And yes, I am trying to learn. But at the same time, there's some of it I don't want to know. I don't even want to go down that lane because there's just a whole lot of responsibility to that, right? And I direct people, hey, you need to go and talk to this particular person that has an IST, but in their craft, those that have an IST, ER, and no, not even the ER. In fact, stay away from the ER folk. Go to the IST people, right? And let them tell you what you need. And then I tell them, go look at my recipes and the ingredients that's out there. And if they had told you you need this ingredient or you don't need that one, abide by that. That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
Those who
Mm-hmm.
diagnose you, right? Other than
Right.
that, you need a gift, you need a present, come see me, and then we could talk. But again, it's all in the ask, it's all in the answer, and so forth and so forth. So Rhonda says we're all in the sore arm club.
Yes. Yes. That's it.
and,
That's
and then Alexa says hello. Thank you guys so much.
hey.
I asked prior to coming on if they would hang out, if they would check us out on another platform. So those that are over the clubhouse are actually coming over into the visual and checking us out. But where are we on time? So we got about 15 minutes just coming to you guys today with an ask. How do you want us to show up for you on first Wednesdays? Is first Wednesdays enough? If it's not, if y'all want us every week, we cannot do because hell, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say hell, but I mean like we also want to travel, family, all kind of obligations are coming,
Well,
and
and I think that there'll be opportunities for you and I to just jump on, right? If we've talked about doing this, is to
definitely,
just
yeah.
jump on and to do if there's something that's a hot topic, if there's something that's coming up, I'm planning to do more individual stuff. I'd like to be on Instagram. I'm working on my Instagram presence, and so I want to try to do some more with Instagram.
You see me laughing, right?
She's laughing at me. She thinks
I'm
I'm
laughing at
full of
Angela.
shit, and I probably am, but I really am trying. And and it's like I got to get Tachi's list again of what's the lights I need because my lights are messed up, and I need my good camera.
Tachi right now did this. I don't know what one of their sayings are, but Tachi was probably like really Angela, really, because again, it's like she's given that information so many times.
So
And
how many times? And I will tell you, this is a word of advice for Dr. Tachi. If you will create an ebook with your list, you could make it, where you update it. I would pay for it because I could never remember. I got ready to drop the F-bomb. I can never
how many
remember
times have people said to you and Angela, if you would just create an ebook, Tachi's over there. Well, God, Tachi's over there
you
thinking,
get your
okay,
ebook,
so the
I'll get
whole
mine.
video, she's probably saying the whole video series
is the
in the
point.
room. Let me get Tachi up on this stage.
Tachi's like, I'm not
a moderator. Can you bring Tachi up in the clubhouse?
Oh, in the clubhouse.
So
all
that
right.
we can get some feedback.
Oh, and I need to make you a moderator. We'll bring you up, Tachi.
Tachi's probably like, okay, so the whole video series, but D-Work says, hey ladies, looking good. Great.
No, and in fact, Tachi's like, just watch my videos.
Okay, wait, I
have
gotta unplug something. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna bring her on. All right.
Yalanda is bound and determined to
come on, Tachi. I got
me
you
in the shop. Wait, all right, now. Okay, hold on a second, Tachi. Are you off your mic so this can be heard? Okay, all right, go ahead. Sorry, Tachi. I've got two headsets.
No worries, I'm off my mic. Yeah, so I was listening on Facebook and this was down, so this is why I had to kind of do a little maneuvering. But so, what is it you want now? What other?
I'm like, I said I want an ebook with your list, right? And that where you update your list, right? Of like, because I'm like, you can see I've got shadows. I had to use my laptop today because we're trying to do Clubhouse. And I'm like, I keep writing. I even write down what you say. Here's what to buy. Here's what to have. And I was like, I would pay to have the ebook or the list. It doesn't even have to. I mean, like a Word document, a PDF, right? That is updated periodically, right? And I was like, with affiliate links, I mean, please put some affiliate links and things, and so that I can purchase. And maybe you already have all this, Tachi. I don't know. I haven't looked that hard, but I was like, I hope you have. I said, I need to ask Tachi if you have affiliate links.
She's trying to answer. Go ahead.
I'm still busy talking. Okay.
Okay. I do have a list, but I don't have. Okay, so this is what happened. After a while, if you don't use the Amazon affiliate program, it just kind of bumps you out of it. Yeah. So that's what happened. So I have to redo that Amazon affiliate thing all over, because when I did it, I just had too much going on to really pay attention to it. So now I can pay attention to it, but I don't have it. So I have to go back in, and then, yes, I can put affiliate links in the list that I have.
Yeah, because I'm getting ready to purchase. So I would rather purchase through an affiliate link and give you credit, at least give you credit for that. And but my point is, Yolanda's just accusing me of being lazy. That's what my mom said about me. When the meanest thing my mom ever said to me, I was a full grown woman. She was like, "You lazy." So that was hurtful. But then she backed up, because my mom was one of these that's always pumping you up. She's like, "You're just so good at so many things. When something's hard, you just don't like to work hard on it." So that was my mom. And to this day, I remember the day my mom, and I would always go, "Mom, you called me lazy." She says, "I didn't call you lazy." She called me lazy. So this is where you have to understand your audience and the expectation of your audience. There are some people that will search for you, and there are some people that are very, very lazy and won't. But thank you, Tachi. I appreciate that.
I thought Tachi was very nice in that moment, because I would have told you where to go find, But anyway, that's why everyone is needed in this arena, y'all. That's why everyone is needed in this arena, because some of us have patience and some of us don't. But again, our big ask today is how do you want us to show up? I'm not necessarily having to go back to the drawing board, but as you can tell, you're probably looking for episodes and you're like, where did they go? Went over there like everybody else back to audio, and we decided to come and do video once a month. And one of the reasons we went back to audio, because it's just easier to have that conversation, particularly in the pandemic when people had a lot going on. And so it just became hard to show up. I mean, I'm going to be full on transparent. Sometimes it's just absolutely hard to show up for good reasons and bad. And Angela, we got a few minutes more here. What I want to talk about, why it became hard for people to show up, because we've been through some traumatic times, and I think we needed to pause. We had an election season that came in. People are still fighting that. I mean, Angela and I are both here in Georgia. So we're on the front lines, be it armchair or not. We're on the front lines of what's going on, with changes to our voting rights. We, think about it, y'all. We have not yet had a State of the Union, which by now we should have had. And we've not yet had a State of the Union in America, for the simple fact that our halls of Congress are not safe. So therefore, our president and vice president can't necessarily go about the business of governing our country, right? We have, and think about one of the first stories I blogged about is still today a headline, and that is the issue with police. We have they keep wanting to call him a former policeman instead of a terrorist, but the Chauvin trial, the murderer of George Floyd is on trial. So that's traumatic. And we just needed to kind of escape from that. And still you can't put a woman in the headlines. All this is going on. Let me tell you, I love Gil Scott Heron. Whitey's on the Moon, right? That poem, right? And it's like all this stuff is going on, but Whitey's on the moon. Yeah, then that throwback. There's apparently an anniversary of that going on. You and I both check out NPR, so there's a woman going around doing talks about the poetry and the writing of Gil Scott Heron, or at that epic time. And it's like, whoa, we're still here. You can't put a woman in the headlines unless she is still lying, dying, crying, flying off the handle, or naked, right? Speaking of, as we got a few more minutes, Khloe Kardashian. They're out there trying to scrub a photo, right? But she's trending not because she's done something amazing, but simply because an untouched photo, has made its way into the ecosystem of people, and people are like sharing it. Hey, let's hurt her even more, further, simply because they decided, well, let's not put our true real selves out there. Let's, put them out there highly cosmetically almost re-engineered, right? And let's just not let normal be normal. So that's trauma. It's traumatic. And we need to take some time to say that we've been through some trauma. Angela and I came together because, damn, we had 50 for us was fucking hell.
Yeah.
We turned 50 and we're like, what the hell? What's going on, y'all? I promise you, it has been absolutely traumatic. And we're turning 55. Let me tell you, Angela and I, we didn't get to celebrate turning 50. We didn't get to celebrate turning 51. I don't know what the hell 52 and 53 went. And Angela come on here talking about she getting ready to be 55. I'm like, well, damn, where did 54 go? Right? We are just now coming out of it. And thank you. Let us say thank you to you guys that y'all did tune in to us weekly.
Yes.
Who the hell were we? How dare we?
Yeah.
Try to heal in public.
I could literally cry. Thinking of this.
Right. And we
the sense of thanking
the audacity of you to cry.
I know. But thinking again, as we're talking about women crying, lying, flying up, to say heart, like heartwarming tears of saying people that showed up to support us, right? Yeah. We're supporting each other, but people showed up to support us, and really we thank you. Well, wherever you are listening and participating in this, we really do thank you. And it makes a difference. And I think sometimes we think, read
that one for me, because that's a lot. Yeah. And that's one of our leading men.
And one of our leading men, and I'll read this in a second. And thank you, Leonard Jones Jr., for commenting. But to say, you think, you show up and you have the stream on, or you're listening on Clubhouse, or you're watching a Facebook Live, and you kind of got it running in the background or whatever, and occasionally you jump on and you put a smiley face or a heart. It does matter. It really does matter that you're there and present. And we have the opportunity with these tools to be present at a distance, right? And now we're going to get ready to be back present in person. So anyway, I'll read this. It says, "You all have an awesome show. Thank you. I try to listen whenever you pop up. As a man, I don't necessarily gravitate towards certain topics. I'm sure that's true, but the information provided is very useful. I simply don't sit down to watch anything at a certain time." And I think, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. And thank you for being one of our leading men. But it's true. A lot of people don't sit down at a certain time anymore to watch a thing. I know I'm that way. Like, I will say, when do I have time to watch, right? So it may be when I'm doing dishes, or it may be when I'm, I very rarely just sit and watch a thing. Yeah. And it's because I am trying to do 20 things, right? And that's most of us. And so this is where a platform like this, it's great if you can engage with us live, but when it's recorded, you can go back and, and engage it.
And that's why we want to shorten it a little bit, because we do understand that you guys were watching more in the replay, and timestamp being a thing. You're trying to find time in your day to watch, and you might look at it and say, oh man, they went long. It's 2 hours. It's this, that, and the other. Well, now it's going to be a short 45 minutes. So put it on your calendars, first Wednesday. And when there is epic news breaking, we will come from Clubhouse and go live and talk about those things. But Wednesdays at 1:30, you can always check in, show up, and we'll give you our take on this world, y'all, as leading women leading women. So, and with leading men in our presence, we'll be here for you. We're going to commit to showing up in that way. And if you commit to showing up in the way that you guys continue to do, awesome. We love to have you. And definitely loving the numbers today because we put out the ask. Can you please come and join us as we talk about going forward? And that's what we're going to do.
And as we wrap this up, I was thinking this morning, and I tell you, if you want to join us for long form conversation, you want to discuss anything and everything, come to Clubhouse. Join our Breakfast with Dryer Buzz Club. You hear some things, but this is where and it's appropriate for that kind of long form conversation. As you know, as Yolanda's good to remind us, it's drop in audio. It's meant that you drop in, you drop out, you come in and you come out. It's very much, it's what talk radio used to be, right? It's a radio, and Yolanda being from radio, I mean, Yolanda took like this, like a fish to water. I mean, this is your as they like to say.
You said that right off the bat too.
Yep. I was like, I was like, Yolanda, this is it for you. This is your thing. Not the video isn't great. And you're great on video. I don't want to diminish that. But I was thinking this morning where we were having this discussion about, and are you feeding your dream or are you starving your dream? So I called that in the Clubhouse, which is totally not what we're talking about, but that's okay. We'll get these things synced up. But it comes back to this of starving and feeding. And it's like, are you starving your dream because you won't ask for food, right? And I just think about Oliver Twist, and it's like, please, sir, may I have some more? At least Oliver Twist was bold enough to ask for some more gruel, right? And sometimes when we're used to being the ones who feed other people, when we're used to being the ones who give out and give out, when we come to the point where we need to, right? And we really know that we're not in a position to reciprocate, right? We won't ask. And in fact, we will starve before we will ask if we don't feel like we can reciprocate. And that right there, A, is dumb, right? B is unnecessary. And C is really a lack of dignity and respect to people you have helped. Because if you are a helper, you have helped people with no thought of reciprocity. You have done it knowing that it won't come back to you from this person, right? So to turn around, and this is Angela talking to Angela, right? And say, well, I can't receive help if I can't give it back. Then that's basically to say I'm better than anybody I've ever helped, right? So I'm like, that's where I'm checking myself. So I would invite you, if you are resistant to receiving, particularly when you're in a very vulnerable place, check in with yourself, check in with your ego. Make sure that it's not ego, right? That's keeping you from saying, please, sir, can I have some more? But I guess what? You're not going to get gruel, right? You're going to get something wonderful. And you may never be able to reciprocate to the person that did that for you. But that's not how it works. And we've talked about this many times. You give to someone, someone else gives to you. It's the ladder, it's the spiral. But just be aware, especially coming out of this year, you may need help, right? You may not be able to give a whole lot of help. And don't let that stop you from asking. And don't be hurt if people say, I can't do it, I can't give you. We are all flatlined of just being exhausted, right? And it's going to take us a while, and things are going to be different, and routines are going to be different, and just our approach is going to be different. You don't come out of extended trauma without being changed by it, right? So I'm changed, you're changed. Things may change, but just don't be afraid to ask. Be okay if the answer is no. Ask again, right? But don't starve your dreams because you just are too embarrassed to say, can someone offer me something? Because I guarantee you, there's plenty of people who have got a bag of food that they're like, oh, this is getting ready to go to waste and I don't know who to give it to. If you would just say, hey, can you just join me in my room for 5 minutes? Can you click onto my video just so I have somebody to talk to for the 5 minutes to get me started, right? Ask for that, and you will be amazed at who shows up. So, Lakeisha is saying, feeding your dream serves others. Absolutely. Absolutely. Your dream is not just for you. Your dream's not just for you. So Yalanda, we're probably, I see we're at 40 minutes of broadcast time. So
wow. So what do you think? I think whew. All right, y'all. We're gonna
I was
head out.
like, and I'm done. This is
I
Angela
know.
speaking. This is
right. Done speaking. Though that was some leading
that's
words
our
of
leading women
wisdom
words
right
of wisdom.
there. But again, guys, we'll be back. I know it's like it makes me want to come back next week. But no, we'll be back in April.
And that's how we've got to do it for ourselves.
What month is this? This is April.
This is April because
we'll
it's
be back in May.
It's my birthday month. It's
That's
my birthday
right.
at the end of the month. Yalanda and I are born the same year, so I am good 6 months older than you. So I'm the old lady of this combo. And yeah, so my birthday's at the end of the month. I have plans, and I'm with Yalanda.
You have plans?
I have zero plans.
Oh,
I have no plans.
I thought you said you had plans. I was like, wait. Okay, so we are on the countdown.
You know what my plan will be? My second, I have to schedule my second shot. It's 21 to 42 days for the Pfizer vaccine. I don't know what other people have gotten. So April 23rd will be the first day I'm eligible. So probably right around my birthday, I'll be getting my second shot. So that's a pretty good birthday present right there.
There you go. There you go. So you must do something. Stay out a little longer when you go out to get the shot.
That's it. I will. I've got a caregiver. She'll be fully vaccinated at that point. That makes me feel a little bit more comfortable about letting her be in the house. So that gives me a chance. My family members, all but one now has had the first shot. So we got, the older generation have all had their second. Not that they're going to come by here and help me, but the ones in the family that might come by, we're starting to get, my support network, my in-person
coming back. Awesome.
I colored my hair. I was like, it's time.
I knew something was going on. You didn't color your hair. You're trying to get out.
Yeah, it's time. Like I said, I was like, everybody got the gentleman or
I knew she was gonna go there. All right, y'all.
And I'm like, we're gonna keep on moving. Keep it moving.
The video is getting ready to end. The clubhouse will probably hang around a little bit longer.
We'll just hang out.
Again, our question today is just how do you need us to show up? She said, yay to birthdays. I know. We're trying to get back, Tachi, to celebrating our birthdays because we missed a couple of them, but that's all right. We're here. All right. So again, guys, just listen. How do you want us to show up? Do know that we will be showing up in the video series. Will be Leading Women Monthly. Leading Women Weekly is moving back to kind of a podcast environment, a clubhouse. We're getting ready to start a club as well. As we again, what do you need? Feel free to inbox us. Angela, what's the email in case somebody wants to email us?
Leading Women Weekly at gmail.com. I think.
There you go. Leading Women Weekly at gmail.com. And Leading Women Weekly on all the platforms as well. And of course, this video, the replay, will also be at Leading Women Weekly on our YouTube as well as our Facebook channel, Facebook page. All right. It's been great seeing you guys. Y'all showed up. For us today. So thank you as we showed up for you. And see that? It's a wonderful exchange. All right. So we'll catch you guys next month. Don't forget, let us know so we'll know how to show up for you next time. All right. All right, everybody. Have yourselves a great day. After Talk happening right now on Clubhouse. Bye.
Bye.